What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Leonard Cohen, and we're returning to The Future for the final track. Thank you again to Yvonne for sharing this album. And the last song is Tacoma Trailer. I'm intrigued. Like, Tacoma, it's actually a place name in multiple locations in the United States, and I think in some other countries too. The one I immediately think of, and maybe this is because I live on the west coast of the US, is Tacoma, Washington, which is a city. There's also a lake up there. I think there's forested areas around it. So Tacoma Trailer makes me think about a trailer like type of truck or a vehicle that you might go on some sort of camping expedition in. Now there's actually a model, I guess it would be, yeah, like a Toyota is the make and then Tacoma is the model. But I don't think those trucks were around in 91. I think, or 92, sorry. I think they were either mid to late 90s when they first started with Toyota Tacomas. So I don't expect there to be any proper name or proper noun reference there. But the idea that it might relate to a truck or a trailer, again, that you might go camping in or, sort of go on a more nature-based trip with, is not entirely out of the question. And yet, even if that's accurate, which I'm going to guess it's not, but even if it were accurate, that would surely just be the point of departure for a larger story that he will tell. So let's give it a listen, and I will try to follow what I can. This is Leonard Cohen. The song is Tacoma Trailer, and it's the last tune on his 1992 album, The Future. guess it's really ending. There were a couple times before that where it felt like it was about to come to a soft ending, and then it started up again. It flourished again. So, okay, no direct answer to Tacoma trailer. Maybe this is the type of atmosphere that Mr. Cohen experienced in or around some Tacoma, if not the one in Washington State. But yes, ultimately, I imagine this title comes from somewhere specific, and this maybe characterizes the mood or feeling that Leonard has in relation to whatever the motivation or origin of this tune was. Nevertheless, I very much enjoy it. It's like an adagio in a piano concerto, or like an adagio largo. Like, it really has this soft atmosphere. Now, that being said, there were some different moods along the way. Even though the bass pulses, which were pretty subtle, I mean, they had some force to them, but they were pretty subtle in the overall sound sphere. And then these, I think, like string synths over the top of that, those were pretty constant or consistent throughout the entire track. But the particular character of the piano line evolved and had some different flavors along the way. And when it would go into a new phrase, the mood would change a bit. At first it was sort of light and beautiful, then it got a bit more tension filled. There were times where it had a bit of mystery to it, and then it would get more melodically consonant again. So it was like the piano kind of dictated what the atmosphere, or rather the mood of the tune was, even if the overall atmosphere was pretty steady from beginning to end. And I will say, like, I was expecting his deep, resonant, and rich voice to come in for the first minute or two, but once we passed like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, then it became pretty clear it was going to be an instrumental. And yeah, it's a really interesting way to finish the album. A song or an album full of well-crafted songs and different vocals, including vocals as if people are in the room talking and laughing, as we heard last time around. And then we get the cessation of vocals, and just again a real tonal piece to finish an album that has been very much about songwriting and his unique, incredible vocals. So yeah, really interesting, I think, though very compelling finish to the album. So once again, thank you to Yvonne. And speaking of his vocals, I did mention Sophia has made available I'm Your Man. Thank you for that. And ultimately, she mentioned to me that on some of his earlier albums, I think I'm Your Man, we're still going to have this deep and rich vocal style, but I think she mentioned that his very earliest stuff, he actually doesn't sing that way. He has a higher toned voice, maybe not falsetto or anything, but not what we've heard on this album. And in that regard, I am very curious to hear what that will sound like. So yes, I'm looking forward to it. As I said, next time around we will start I'm Your Man, which is the album immediately preceding this. I think it's 1988. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Let me know what you think here, and I'll see you next time. Peace.